A rare occasion in USL League One, a standalone Saturday evening match between the Chattanooga Red Wolves and Forward Madison FC presented by Transcard. We're here at CHI Memorial Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee for what should be an exciting 90 minutes of football action. We welcome you in on the broadcast on ESPN+. My name is Mark Schoenster. Looking forward to getting this one going between these two sides. Of course, both still with a lot to prove this season. Madison sitting at 6th place, that last playoff spot. They have a good cushion, though, against one Knoxville. Only a 2-point advantage, but they also have 2 games in hand. So you got to make results out of those for those to truly matter to you. As we see what they're up against the Chattanooga side, Ropapa Mensah is our News 12 player to watch. He's a guy who was able to get a brace last weekend, and many coaches have described him as a player who can make something out of nothing. He could take a touch, he could step around the 18 and contort his body to put a shot on frame. A lot of times this season, he's hit the woodwork. If he is just an inch sharper, he's gonna score a lot of goals in this final stretch of the season. He's proved it recently that he has that capability from anywhere inside the 18. Meanwhile, a player who has definitely proven his goal-scoring capability is Christian Cheney. What a performance he had last Saturday. Earned him Player of the Week in USL League One. 2 goals in his homecoming against Central Valley Fuego in Fresno. Had a whole posse of fans there rooting him on. And man, he is an enjoyable player to root for. Big guy, hard to take down, super athletic, as you can see here on his celebration acrobatics. Will he be slowed down by the Chattanooga Red Wolves this evening, or will the Mingos find 3 points on the road? We'll find out on the other side of this break right here on ESPN+. We'll see you then.
It's here, Ford Truck Month. Come and get the best deals on Ford F-150. The only truck to offer available Pro Power onboard and an interior work surface so you can get it all done. All part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck 46 years straight and counting. Get 2.9 for 60 plus up to $2,500 with eligible trade-in. Learn more about pickup and delivery and remote service at your local Ford dealer.
The future is in these foothills. The world's fastest internet from EPB is in homes from Hickson to Highland Park. In classrooms from East Lake to East Brainerd. And in reach of those striving to learn more, be more, achieve more. The future is here with fiber optic speeds up to 25 gigs, only from
There's a beat in all of us. It drives us, it inspires us, and it pushes us through. It is there in preparation, it is there in battle, it is there in defeat, and in success. It's the engine, it's our guide. And this beat is my own. This beat is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water, hydration for athletes.
Welcome back to CHI Memorial Stadium for Forward Madison and the Chattanooga Red Wolves, brought to you by CHI Memorial. So, an interesting thing to think about, Matt Glazer has been the head coach of Forward Madison for about a year, over a year and a half. Played a full season. He's in his 2nd season now. He has played 4 different head coaches for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. But despite that, the Red Wolves have had a lot of success against Forward Madison in that stretch of time. This will just be the 2nd time that Scott McKenzie and Matt Glazer have met each other. Now, granted, Scott McKenzie only coaching in what is his 7th game. And since he has come in, this guy, Johnny Felipe, has been a part of these lineups, and he has been a huge asset to this team since joining. Had 2 assists last Saturday. But the main thing that Scott McKenzie likes about his game is what he does when they don't have the ball. He is such an enthusiastic presser and is such an electric player defensively that it makes him an invaluable player in this lineup. Brought to you by Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Going with that 3-5-2 once again for the Red Wolves. Marius Slomis and Siobhan Marshall, the guys looking to bag some goals today. Meanwhile, we've also got Pierre Da Silva to highlight, getting into the starting lineup for the first time this evening. De Silva had a fantastic game on Saturday as well. Kick-started the comeback with a goal from the free kick and then set up the finish from Christian Cheney. Would tie things up at 4 apiece. Here's the lineup for Matt Glazer's side. The 4-4-2 once again. The Pierre De Silva switch. One of the main changes in the lineup here. Also worth mentioning, Jacob Kroll got the red card in the game last Saturday. They went through the appealing process and they were successful in that endeavor. So Jacob Kroll able to play today, does not have to serve a suspension, and they'll be happy to have him back as that left back option for forward Madison. Now we'll get things going here between the Mingos and the Red Wolves. Madison in the pink, Chattanooga in the red. Our head official for today's match, Alexander Zheleskov. The whistle blows and we are underway here between the Mingos and the Red Wolves. We'll see how this one transpires here this next 90 or so minutes. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenster. Looking forward to getting you the action here on ESPN+. Third time and final time these teams will meet this season. Right now, the series is set at a win apiece between the two sides. Chattanooga with a 2-0 win in June. And that was when Ziggy Korotowski was still in charge. And then in August, these two teams met. Scott McKenzie at that point was at the helm, and Madison won 1-0 at home. And I think when you have to play a team several times in a season, and every time you play them, they're operating a little bit differently. As this long ball to Cheney is brought down, but the flag will go up. Every different coach that Chattanooga's had has brought a little bit of a different element to the team and how they approach things, which means that for Madison, they've had to prepare a little bit differently for every single game. It's an interesting segment to think about. For Chattanooga, excuse me, it was a 4-4 draw here at home last Saturday, the last time that we saw them play against Tormenta. And now looking to get on the prowl here early. That one nodded away. Bolefi tried to thread it forward, but it doesn't go very far. And now Cheney with the back heel carries it over. Christian Cheney one-on-one with Williams. Cheney still going, wheels around, squares it, and it won't hit anybody. At least nobody in Mingo colors. And now Chattanooga will waltz down the other way. Scott McKenzie described last week's game as an extreme example of how the games have been since he's gotten there. He said the best teams are excellent for 90 minutes and make the most of the details. He mentioned there were 4 moments in that game that we were not good enough, and they were avoidable mistakes at that. He felt all 4 goals scored by Tormenta were preventable in one tweak or another. So despite the stoppage time goal to salvage a point in that game, Scott McKenzie was certainly not pleased with the performance from his side. Caught his celebration on that last goal subdued because he felt it was a situation that they put themselves in. Meanwhile, it was a ridiculous comeback from forward Madison last Saturday in what was a wild 4-4 game on the road against Central Valley Fuego. A game in which they went down 2 goals and went down a man a questionable penalty called going against them, and then maybe should have had a penalty called in their favor. But despite that fact, they were able to come back and win the game. No, tie the game, excuse me. 4-4. Felt like a victory at the time for the Mingos, given the circumstances. And Matt Glazer said, we lost 2 in a row, we put ourselves in a hole in that game, and we dug ourselves out of it. Mentioned he was pleased to see the mental fortitude from his guys, and he hopes that it works as a bit of a boost of confidence for them moving forward. It's been a grueling summer for the Mingos. Had a ton of games jam-packed into the 3 hottest months of the season. Long ball over the top for Pedro Hernandez. Here's Jacob Kroll. As we mentioned before, saw his playing every minute of the season streak snapped, now in hindsight unjustly. And now contact drawn by Nico Cardona. Talking about Jake Kroll. There's a situation where Matt Glazer was telling us that he doesn't try to make excuses, and he wants his side to be resilient when the cards are against them. But obviously was not pleased with the decision by the officiating crew last Saturday. A penalty was given to Central Valley Fuego in that game, what I would describe as a very generous call. Jake Kroll certainly wasn't pleased with it and was given a red card for his dissent. We didn't get to see any of it on camera in that broadcast. It did seem quite out of the blue from our perspective, though. And that was made amends by the league this week. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that it made what was already a tall task even taller last Saturday. Now Madison was still able to make something of it, which they can be proud of. As Kroll gets tripped up, he was one of just 3 players left in USL League One who had played every minute of every game this season for his side. One of them being his teammate Bernd Shipman, who has maintained that status. The other one being Alexi Sawahi of Union Omaha, whom haven't played since that game last week. Tough challenge there for Aviles. Had to be smart with the ball. Getting it knocked to him by Mikhail Williams, who is getting pinched by 2 Madison players. Anticipate to see some fire from Chattanooga here early in the game. One thing that hasn't happened for them since Scott McKenzie has taken over is they haven't scored first in NVR affairs. And Scott McKenzie was telling us if his side could score first in a match, he'd be over the moon. That's a thing that each of these players will take personally. And want to cut an end to that trend. Here's Derek Gebhardt, who has other thoughts in mind. Gebhardt into the 18, still going. Gebhardt shoots! And Derek Gebhardt puts Madison on the board. Puts an emphatic stamp on this game. The Mingos on the road take the early advantage. Goal number 4 on the season for the 3rd-year Mingo. Simply had too much room to work with. As we get a look at this replay again, Gebhardt found some space. He gets all the way into the 18. before he even feels any bodies approaching him. Cardona and Williams just too far away. And a talented goal scorer, Derek Gebhardt from Blue Hill, Maine, gets the job done and shows some ferocity in the celebration. Scored the first goal in El Paso Locomotive history back in 2018. Now in his third year with forward Madison. Has always been a workhorse for this team. A player who makes a difference on both ends of the pitch. Is now logged one home here. Now, can Chattanooga find a response? Well, this was just a situation Scott McKenzie was trying to avoid. Obviously, he doesn't mind the fighter mantra that this team has garnered since he has come in. Every coach acknowledging the amount of grit they play with, but he would love for his team to have the upper hand at a point in time early in the match, but they're going to have to resort to some old ways here, or I guess you could call them new ways, recent ways. Now, Chattanooga, throughout their history in League One, have had a penchant for coordinating comebacks and winning and drawing from losing positions. Doesn't really matter who's on the sideline or who's on the pitch. They do love to embody that cardiac Red Wolves way of life. Kraft with the ball inside, brought down by Slomis. And Sam Brotherton gets a touch on it, getting the start over Timmy Mel. Mel picking up an injury in that game against Central Valley, so Brotherton gets his 6th start of the season. He was the one who stepped in when Mel went down in that game on Saturday, and so it's only natural that he'd be the one to be put into the spot now. Which leads into what Matt Glazer was telling us. His side just a little bit beat up, a little tired, and a little thin roster-wise. And he said, we're trying to make it through right now. And it's just that part of the season. Luckily, we're into September, which means that it only gets cooler from here. It gets cooler, but the games only get more and more intense as we approach the close of the regular season. Jaden Onan plays it inside for Cheney. He hits the wrong side of the netting. But for Madison, once again, going down that left-hand side, finding some danger. And there is Matt Glazer. An example of his roster being a bit thin right now. Only 6 options on his bench this evening. But as they proved last weekend, they play with a lot of guts. And gutting out some performances at this point in the season is what Glazer is looking for his team. Scott McKenzie described his opposition as a good side. He said, we're aware of what they do and how they do it. He said, though, they'll have a better crack at it this go-around against the Mingos. Last time these two teams played, it was Scott McKenzie's 2nd game. He said, we were in stage 1 at that point in time, and now we're in stage 2 of the process of looking to turn this ship around. Marsh gets that one taken away at the last moment. Gebhardt pokes it forward and then gets fouled. We're hoping Madison plays a different team this go-around. That's what Scott McKenzie was telling us earlier this week. Remember that Madison game that they last played? Carlos Aviles with a ridiculous circus act of a save. Wasn't enough to come away with even a point on the road. Still a 1-0 victory for forward Madison. That was definitely one of the main moments to remember from that one. Still waiting for a ball to be given to whoever's going to throw it. It looks like Jake Kroll will be the one to toss this one in. Cheney wheels around. Onan tried to slice it inside. Whether that was a shot or a leading pass for Barton remains to be seen. Now the Red Wolves will quickly gash down the other way. Osman provides the clearance. About mid-80s right now in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we peek at Scott McKenzie. This being his 7th game since he's taken over for Chattanooga. Stephen Payne played it forward and it was deflected right back to him. Osman lofts this one up the pitch. No Mingo there, but gets it out of danger for a moment. Matt Glazer described the Red Wolves as a team that's always a tough matchup. And he said their front 4 or 5 guys who they send flying are strong, dynamic players who are especially good in 1v1 situations. He said they're super dangerous in an open game, so we need to control the space. They do not want this one to get end-to-end like that Tormenta game was for Chattanooga last weekend. Felipe to Lomas, and he was offside. That's just not Madison's style. They're not an end-to-end team. They'd rather be a little bit more methodical in the ways that they attack the other team. Not about letting the game get all topsy-turvy, which I'm sure Chattanooga is more than capable and wouldn't oppose to happening. They've got the weapons for it, at least. Felipe working on Pierre Da Silva, 2 players we highlighted before the game started. Gomez floats this one up. Lomas couldn't bring it in. Made sure he didn't land on one of our camera guys over there. Not with our broadcasting team, but always feel connection to any part of the media landscape at a USL game. I see a camera, I see a microphone, anything along those lines, I associate them as one of us. I guess call that media kinship. Matt Glazer looking to find a 2nd straight win against Chattanooga. Onan staying on his feet, winds around. Do have a player down. And now we're going to get a whistle blown by our head official, Alexander Jeleskov. And some words being exchanged here. Surely not niceties being shared. Right there in front of the Chattanooga dugout. And a yellow card is issued to Nico Cardona, his 8th yellow of the season. There's the challenge. Just crunched into Gebhardt. And then Cardona was the one on that challenge and maybe kicked Onan there. Onan may have mistaken Omar Gomez as the guy who kicked him. Well, either way. Gutsy to throw some fighting words right in front of the opposition's dugout. Gotta have eyes on the front and the back of your head. Here's our goal scorers, all right, though. Derek Gebhardt was the victim of the Nico Cardona challenge. So a free kick is in order for forward Madison. Well, actually, it may have been just been a throw-in call, despite the fact that there was a yellow card offense. I'm not sure if Madison would prefer that or not, but one way or another, that's the decision from our head official, and that's what you're going to operate with. Kroll throws it in to Cheney. Cheney shoots! Couldn't quite put it on target, and maybe Madison's perfectly fine with a throw-in if they can conjure up a chance like that. That's a good throw. Jacob Kroll, like a threaded pass, makes it happen. Now that's problem number one if you're Madison. Siobhan Marsh, they'll want to lock him down. Meanwhile, Chattanooga will be looking to find him. And all the cricks in this Madison defense, anywhere they can get him, he has been oh so dangerous, especially in this recent stretch. Gebhardt kept it in play, knocked out by Cardona, and he was able to get a glance off of Gebhardt, so it will be a Chattanooga throw. And they'll quickly retake it. Lombardi lofts this one up the pitch. Marsh brought it down, but then he's met by Mitch Osmond, the captain. Now Onan will dish it out to Bartman. He's got Onan running, but Bartman will instead play it back. These are the moments where Madison need to be mindful of how they're knocking the ball around. Don't want to give it away to Chattanooga in a moment where they can pounce on the counterattack. And that's exactly what the Red Wolves will be sniffing for. Payne is able to get that one away. Cheney will find this one for Onan, but he is well offside. Select the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Connerty will play this back to Shipman. And Lomas bearing down on him. Here at CHI Memorial Stadium, it's the last $2 beer night of the season. Also had some great pregame festivities here. They had their third pregame concert, this time featuring a Nashville-based rock and roll band, Overlook. Performed over at the Hal Bar, which is gonna, from this perspective, the bottom right corner on the near side of the pitch. A double-decker bar. Hosts artists and, of course, also hosts fans who are looking to have a good time at a Red Wolves game. Neat little venue. And here's Gebhardt, who got clipped by Williams. And that may be another booking because that was a prime opportunity for the Mingos. And it will be a yellow. Mikhail Williams also collecting his 8th yellow card of the season. Ultimately, though, being that it was just a yellow, I think you take that if you're Chattanooga because Gebhardt was running with a head full of steam. Looking just as dangerous as he did earlier. And he had Onan running beside him. That would have been tough to stop for Chattanooga. But that being said, now 2 members of your trio of center backs are playing on yellow cards for probably about 70 more minutes in this game. Madison get a chance at the set piece here. Pierre Da Silva will be the one behind the ball, scored a fantastic free kick against Central Valley Fuego. That kick started and maybe give a spark to their hopes for a comeback effort in that game. Da Silva, that's a good-looking ball, but it's headed away by Lombardi. Connerty back into the mixer. Cheney heads it on, and it's just off target. And Cheney thinks it got a piece of a Chattanooga Red Wolves player, and to believe it did, because we're going to get a corner kick. Here's a look on the replay, brought to you by Rodriguez Family Dentistry. Yeah, that came off of Gomez. Right after it left the head of Christian Cheney, it deflected off the midfielder. And now Pierre Da Silva will have a new vantage point for a free kick. Plays this one in. That effort blocked by Lombardi. Eric Connerty on the shot. Cardona doesn't make sure he keeps touch with the ball there. We'll slow things down for Chattanooga as Lombardi returns over to his side of the pitch. Williams. Ball all the way up the middle of the pitch. Slomis is able to get it out. And it came off of Kroll, so it'll be a Chattanooga throw. Welcome you all in who are tuning in to watch this game, whether you be Chattanooga fans who aren't able to make the game, Madison fans who were not able to make the trip, or just interested League One bystander. No other games happening right now, which is very odd considering we're sitting at around 8 o'clock, which is usually right when we have 3 or 4 games taking place at the same time. I know that was the case last week. It's been the start Madison would have wanted in this game. A goal in the 8th minute for Derek Gebhard. A lot of road games as of late for Forward Madison. It's been tough for them. Mac Laser mentioned that they've played 16 games, which is half of their regular season, in the 3 hottest months, June, July, August. And I was talking to him about how, and this is astonishing, there were only 6 clean sheets across the league in the month of August. That's 31 games. 6 teams were able to accomplish a clean sheet, which is an astonishingly low number. And I asked Mac Laser, is it the heat? Is it the exhaustion at this point in the season? What do you think it is? And he said there's probably a lot of answers to that question, but for us, as a team that was doing very well defensively earlier in the season, the back line plays the majority of the games. And the teams that are not in the playoff picture start taking more risks at this point in the season. And so do teams with high-octane offenses who are really starting to click. Hernandez inside for Slomis. Trying to click offensively here. Well guarded, though, by Osman. Here's a look again on the Rodriguez Family Dentistry replay. The veteran striker and the veteran defender working on each other, both 28 years of age. Mario Slomis still fishing for his first goal in Chattanooga colors. It's worth noting across the league, of course, the players on the back line of every team are usually the ones playing the most minutes across the season. Talking about the lack of clean sheets recently, and not only lack of clean sheets, but we have seen an explosion of goals over the past few weekends, and this past week has been nothing short of a prime example of it. Hernandez lets it back to Marsh. Marsh driving horizontally, and it's a clean challenge according to our head official. And now it's Cheney 2-on-1. continue to hold things up. Finds Bartman. Nazim Bartman taps it out wide. Gets it right back. Bartman shoots, and he couldn't get it underneath the rim. Crossbar just too far below that shot from Bartman. Good 1-2. But too much pop on that shot. It's definitely a preference for teams across the league and just across soccer in general that your back line remains consistent throughout the season, because some of their job hinges on chemistry and on being almost a hive mind and thinking what the others are thinking at the same time. Which means that at this point in the season, you're going to be a bit exhausted because you're going to be playing more minutes than maybe your midfield and attacking counterparts, who much more often are the subject of substitutions and maybe lineup tweaks. Well, Leffy stands tall against Onan there, but after advantage was played, it will be a free kick for Madison. Chattanooga fans not a fan of that one. And just to give you a bit of context, as we see this foul once again, it's going to be the push on Cardona, from Cardona, excuse me. That's the call. I don't think there was much there on the Slomis slide. But 6 clean sheets in August, in comparison to 10 in July, which isn't very good either. Then you had 16 clean sheets in June, 11 in May, 18 clean sheets in April. The 6 clean sheets in August ties the 6 clean sheets that we had in March. There were 7 games in March, so take that information as you will, as Connor T lost that one up and out of the stadium. It's gonna be a long trip for whatever ball boy has to go and retrieve that one. Here's a look at it again. Sent up and over the stands and out to whatever is over there. I just hope there isn't a innocent bystander on the other side, completely unawares. Maybe lose some of their $2 beer. As Madison jump on here. Onan shoots, it's saved by Aviles, but Bartman's right there. He can't corral it in fast enough. Bartman back to the top. Cheney whiffed on the effort. And it's still 1-0. A big moment, a big stop for Aviles. Here's a look on the Rodriguez Family Dentistry replay. Onan, so quick, can jump and apply pressure at a given moment. Took advantage, took a shot, but Carlos Aviles, who's such a superb shot stopper, was able to get the job done, as Fort Madison are more than familiar with. Perhaps that can spark some momentum for the Red Wolves. Marsh crashing in on Shipman. And Bernd Shipman grabbing his right knee. The challenge from Marsh falling through. Maybe he's clutching his ankle instead. Siobhan Marsh could be given a yellow there, his 9th yellow card of the season. So 3 bookings for the home side so far in this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A caution has been issued by the referee to Chattanooga Red Wolves, number 11, Siobhan Marsh, in the 34th minute of the game.
And there's a look at the challenge again. Marsh trying to apply pressure to Shipman, but then the contact followed through after the fact. Certainly no harm intended on the challenge, but a bit reckless, and that's going to get you a booking. Alexander Zhelezkov, our head official, once again looking to keep the peace here as he has a conversation with Mitch Osmond. Looks like an understanding coming between them. Scott McKenzie has the opportunity to apply some instruction and tutelage to Arone Lombardi and company. Really haven't had an opportunity on set pieces so far this game. Scott McKenzie was happy to see 2 goals scored from corner kicks in that game against Tormenta. So we see, once again, the contact from Siobhan Marsh. Yeah, he got him right on the boot. I asked Scott McKenzie if there's any kind of goal that he's more satisfied with, and he said he just wants it to hit the back of the net on their side of the pitch. He did mention, though, after the goals and the set pieces that the man behind those is Fabio Hernandez, the goalkeeping coach. Mentioned he's the brains of the operations on the things we draw up from dead ball situations. So he had a little extra joy on scoring from 2 corners last Saturday. Gebhardt wheeling around along the sideline. And a double teaming effort from Chattanooga will win the ball back in their favor. Meanwhile, for Madison, this is a side that is worn down from the grind of this middle season. 16 games in 3 months, as I mentioned earlier. Asked Matt Glazer if, knowing they're a bit exhausted, a little bit battered, does that change how you attack in a game? He said, well, we'll pretty much play the same way. We want them to take risks, but it's important that there's organization behind them when they take a risk offensively. And he said, we'll have to be especially disciplined on Saturday. This is a part of the season where being pragmatic is very important. And right now they have the luxury of sitting on a 1-goal lead, so they don't have to go crazy offensively, at least as of right now. They have to be careful, though. This Chattanooga team can bite at any moment. Gebhardt getting taken down. It'll be another free kick for the Mingos. Derek Gebhardt taking a beating since scoring his goal on this one. Gomez just getting a bit of his shirt there, and then I think his heel may have clipped the back of Gebhardt's head as he was running away. Kraft knocks it away. It'll be a Madison throw.
Body armor, the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Bull.
Cheney gets it back. Knocked away by Mikhail Williams, and then that foul will give Chattanooga a free kick. And the first yellow card for Madison today, Eric Connerty with his 3rd of the season. Fouling Johnny Felipe on the transaction. Nice yellow card brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, caution has been issued by the referee to forward Madison, number 8.
So we've now had 4 bookings here in the first 45 minutes. Connerty just going for the ball there, but did get a bit of Felipe in the process. Marsh Heads it forward. Kroll had that clearance deflected right into the danger area. And then Gebhardt, a bit of a jump kick, knocks it out of play. Was trying to keep it in bounds. It'll be a Chattanooga throw. That ball needs to be knocked out, and it has done so. Felipe drills this one in, and it's knocked away by Shipman. So a chance for a corner kick for the first time this evening for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Real first set piece chance. 2 goals from the corner last match out. This corner kick brought to you by our local Ford dealer.
Back of the net. This corner kick brought to you by your local Ford dealer. Official sponsor of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Let's put the ball in the goal.
Johnny Felipe awaiting the go-ahead. So Sheleskov giving some instructions right by the goal line. So Felipe surveying the structure of his guys inside the 18. And Chattanooga find a response here. Felipe spins it in, and it's headed away. The follow-up, Kraft shoots, and it's walled off immediately by Nazim Bartman. Felipe wins it back. Still with it. Good with the ball at his feet, Johnny Felipe. He's able to squeak that ball into the 18. Lombardi. Slomis gets his head on it. It's knifed into the air. And Marsh with a touch brings it down over to the left channel. Still Siobhan Marsh. Tried to play it centrally, and it will be a goal kick. They'll look to find goals any way they can. As I said earlier, Scott McKenzie doesn't have a preferred method. He said when it goes in their net and not in ours, those are the goals that I like. I don't care how it goes in. He said it could be the ugliest goal in the world. I don't really care. A results-oriented guy. And ultimately, they do all count the same on the score sheet. We get closer and closer to halftime. Only one game happening right now. We'll take you across the league to give you the highlights of what took place yesterday, what took place earlier today. And we had some early Saturday action. We saw the score from what took place earlier, Central Valley Fuego in North Carolina. And an exciting one. You'll get to see the highlights of that one, of course. Kind of exemplifies what this league is all about. That was a top of the table versus a bottom of the table matchup. And it was a game that wasn't decided till the very end. Walefi switches the point of attack. Kraft. It's Payne that's by him. Kraft swings in the cross, headed away. Lombardi surveyed his options, still with it. Will knock it over to Cardona. Cardona with the cross. And Payne heads this one away. Keeps it out of danger. But it's another corner kick for the Red Wolves. Another corner kick brought to you by your local Ford dealer. As Riley Kraft, well, actually, it may not have been a corner kick. It looked like it was. Yeah, it is a corner kick. Kraft is holding it for Johnny Felipe to take, but he'll sit right by. Chattanooga all lining up on the right-hand side. Mostly going to be blown by our head official. You notice our head official not anywhere near the action. That's because he was giving a yellow card to the Madison bench.
Caution has been issued by the referee to the forward Madison bench in the 44th minute of the game. This yellow card is
Now we'll get back to it. Felipe. His ball doesn't reach any Chattanooga target, but Marshall collected on the other side. He serves it in. Heads along! And the Red Wolves equalize. Put it back into the mixer and good things will happen. When you've got a lot of bodies inside the 18, put in a good service and you're asking for damage to be done. And damage was done there for Chattanooga. The service was from Siobhan Marsh. We'll wait to see who got on the end of that pass. But it'll certainly be Marsh's first assist of the season. Marsh usually on the scoring end of things. We'll get another look at this on the Rodriguez Family Dentistry replay. Marsh picked it up. And it was Nico Cardona who was on the end of it, getting his third goal of the season. It's a good goal tally for a defender. First assist of the season for Siobhan Marsh. And as you look at our scoreboard, 6 minutes of stoppage time, still a lot to be played here in the first half. So we are back at level here. So the response found by the Chattanooga Red Wolves. And now they'll push forward once again. Lombardi was trying to find Slomis as he floated it forward. That being said, another day, another game without a clean sheet in USL League One. No clean sheets yesterday. We have one more game tomorrow, and you almost think that we're not going to get one tomorrow either with the offensive caliber of the Hailstorm and the Jacks. Jacks, of course, being the Charlotte Independents. Free kick chance here for Pierre Da Silva and forward Madison. Madison had the advantage for the majority of this half. I've seen it go back to level from a moment remotely close to a set piece, and they respond from a set piece of their own. That one goes through the hands of Aviles, so it'll be a corner kick. You see Onan on the ground. Looks like he's getting back up on his feet, but here's the service from Da Silva once again. Aviles couldn't quite catch it, but at least did enough to make sure no Mingo got on it. Service is low this time. It's popped up. Da Silva puts his head on it and falls to Gebhard. Here come Madison again. Ball comes in, and it's snatched out of the air by Carlos Aviles, and he'll quickly distribute it forward, looking to connect with Marsh. That's the guy you want to loft the ball down to. Marsh has got it. It pings off the feet of Gebhard and falls safely to the feet of Bernd Shipman. A moment of danger for Chattanooga. Siobhan Marsh. That's the man you want in that situation if you're the Red Wolves. What a touch. Catching the streaking Derek Gebhard, who is so quick to contribute both offensively and defensively. About 2 more minutes here before the halftime whistle. Kraft to the middle for Gomez. Here's Cardona. Holds and gives it to Marsh now. And it's difficult to get the ball off of his feet. So smooth with it in his control. Slomis chests it back to Marsh. Marsh steps inside. Siobhan Marsh switches it over to Kraft. Kraft into the 18. And Riley Kraft gets that one to deflect off of Payne. Out for another corner kick. Corner kick brought to you by your local Ford dealer. They're able to score off the last corner kick on a second service. Let's see what they come up with here. 50 minutes have transpired. Johnny Felipe now thinking of an advantage. That one headed away by Payne. Same man who knocked it out for a corner kick. And that sliding challenge puts it right back into danger, but they're going to say it was not a clean challenge. Matt Glazer cracking some jokes. I'm sure him and his side will be able to rest a little easier after this game concludes. 3 home games in a row after this one, and 5 of their last 7 of the season are in front of the fans at Breese Stevens Field, which is an ideal way to have the final stretch of your season be structured. As we have hit the 6 minutes of added time. Whistle could happen any moment. And there it is. So a moment near the beginning of the game and a moment near the end of the half sees us at 1 goal apiece between the Red Wolves and the Mingos. Derek Gebhardt on a solo run going down the left-hand side was able to put it home. And then on the other side, Nico Cardona from the service from Siobhan Marsh leveled things up at the 45th minute, which is how we find ourselves at a goal apiece between these two sides. We got some good halftime content coming your way up next. And the Outlaw Beer. So before we step aside, a chance to show you the 2 teams posing with a Labor Day banner. The USLPA always fighting for the league players, and we'll show you some teams fighting each other on the other side of this break on ESPN+.
I need to try it first.
It's here, Ford Truck Month. Come and get the best deals on Ford F-150. The only truck to offer available Pro Power onboard and an interior work surface so you can get it all done. All part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck 46 years straight and counting. Get 2.9 for 60 plus up to $2,500 with eligible trade-in. Learn more about pickup and delivery and remote service at your local Ford dealer.
Welcome to halftime here in Chattanooga, brought to you by Outlaw Beer. Well, it's an interesting weekend in USL League One. Our matchups are being spread across 3 separate days, so let's play some catch-up on Friday's action. We had 2 games yesterday to go through, including a battle of green teams over in Georgetown playing to avoid the football schedule happening today. But look at this, rocket from Tate Robertson. He has got a boot on him, and he is proving that not only is he a great assister, but he can throw in some shots and a wink too. Greenville would then in the second half try to find a response, but Emil Knight would come up time and time again. He gets the punch there. Alan Gavilanes is in a very similar looking opportunity, sends another ball in. This one goes right into the gut of Emil Knight. And then Lexington with the chance to double their advantage, needing 3 points to stay alive in this playoff race. They're trying to solidify 3 points here at home, but So Kim can't get it on frame. And then Emil Knight would be asked to make a couple more stops here. Jacob Labovitz heads that one down to the feet of the aforementioned keeper, and then Labovitz would toss this one in. Evan Lee would get a chance to crack at it. And it's a good save from Emil Knight once again, but in the 98th minute, right before things were coming to a close, Jamie Smith, with his first goal of the season for the Triumph, heads it home. He hasn't played most of the season due to injury, but boy, has he been an impact player since he has returned to the lineup. And it's a point apiece between Lexington and Greenville yesterday. Then, a huge game between Tormenta and Knoxville, the two aggressors to the playoff spots right now, and Knoxville on the road gets it going early. Gio Calixtro, the former Tucson man, getting his first goal in the Marble colors for One Knoxville SC. Great start, and it would continue to be great here for One Knoxville. Another corner kick. They try to figure out a spot to float the ball to, and look at Jordan Skelton. That's a tall body, and he will not home his first goal of the season. The captain, always so proficient at clearances on the other side of the pitch, decided to get a goal of his own. Then we get a little bit of drama here in this one. See, Nick Akoto goes down, and then we're about to get a red card party here from our head official in this one. Some simulation on the contact. Nick Akoto, maybe a little bit of a headbutt as well, but our officiating crew is not taking any of it. 2 red cards, and then Ian Cameron, absolutely stunned, gets sent off as well. So that's 3 straight reds in a single sequence. And so for the rest of the game, it would be 10v10 as we see One Knoxville continuing to cook. Jake Keegan makes it 3-0 on the road. Huge finish from him, and they would go and celebrate with who we believe is their bus driver. Got Randy coming over here to celebrate with Waldeck and Keegan. When things are going well, especially on the road, you got to give the bus driver some love. We'll also give Mukwele Akale some love here. A fantastic strike to cut the deficit to 2. It's too little too late, but boy, is it a fantastic strike from Mukwele Akale, whom we all know has the capability to pull off shots like that. But a huge 3 points for One Knoxville on the road against another team vying for one of those playoff spots outside looking in as of right now. And then just a couple hours ago, we had Central Valley Fuego against North Carolina FC, a bottom of the table versus top of the table matchup. And early on in the game, the Moose would get tripped up right around that penalty box line, and Alexis Cerritos would put it home. The talented striker knows exactly what to do from the penalty spot, giving the bottom of the table team a point and an advantage early in the game. But then Jaden Cervania, he had a free kick earlier in the half that went straight to the keeper, got a second go at it here, and he made sure he made the most of it. 1-1 between these two sides, and it looked like it would be a point apiece between the two of them. But then, right near the end of the game, Devin Benton, was able to knot it home to get all 3 points to the top of the table, staving off Union Omaha. With that in mind, we'll step aside for a moment. When we come back, we'll have the news and notes here on ESPN+.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to head out, okay?
What's your name? So you are right now?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
So here are some news and notes from around USL League One. On one end, we've got players who, and coaches for that matter, who will be sticking around with their respective programs. Eamon Zayed going to stick around with the Hailstorm. Akira Fitzgerald, who's both a player and a coach, has extended with the Kickers. And on the other side of things, we've got a switch up as far as who is up top in the coaching category for Central Valley Fuego. Adam Smith is refocusing his efforts in the club sporting director role and allowing Edison Gonzalez to take the reins in charge of the footballing aspect of things. Meanwhile, as we talked about in the first half, Christian Cheney earning Player of the Week after his brace in front of his home fans at Central Valley. As we now pivot over to the Golden Glove race, just a quarter of a goal separates these five keepers. So at this point in time, it is a tight race between these guys. It's anyone's to take going into the final stretch of the season. It'll be interesting to see how this maps out by the time the season comes to an end. You saw the highlights from three of these games. The one you didn't get to see were the Richmond Kickers and Central Valley Fuego, and a wild one on Wednesday, 3-3. We've been having a lot of wild games as of late. If you want to talk about wild matches, 5 goals in both matches between Northern Colorado Hailstorm and Charlotte Independence this season, and they play tomorrow in a huge playoff position battle. Both sitting above the playoff line, both in spots vying to get one of those byes going into the League One playoffs this season. This could end up being pivotal at the end of the year. The difference between winning a championship and not could be where the games are being played come knockout football time. Some other great games worth highlighting, of course, for Chattanooga fans. They've got the Independence on Saturday. Meanwhile, for Forward Madison, they'll be playing Knoxville. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the highlights and stats.
I need to try it first.
The future is in these foothills. The world's fastest internet from EPB is in homes from Hickson to Highland Park. In classrooms from East Lake to East Brainerd. And in reach of those striving to learn more, be more, achieve more. The future is here with fiber optic speeds up to 25 gigs, only from EPB.
There's a beat in all of us. It drives us, it inspires us, and it pushes us through. It is there in preparation, it is there in battle, it is there in defeat, and success. It's the engine, it's our guide. And this beat is my own. This beat is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water, hydration for athletes.
It's here, Ford Truck Month. Come and get the best deals on Ford F-150. The only truck to offer available Pro Power onboard and an interior work surface so you can get it all done. All part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck 46 years straight and counting. Get 2.9 for 60 plus up to $2,500 with eligible trade-in. Learn more about pickup and delivery and remote service at your local Ford dealer.
On the tail end of the Outlaw Beer halftime show, 1-1 your scoreline between the Red Wolves and Forward Madison. Let's take a peek at the highlights from the first 45 minutes in case you need a refresher or if you're just now tuning in. It started off early, 8th minute, a solo effort from Derek Gebhardt here. Crosses midfield, and then he turns on the burners. No one's around him. He looks, maybe he'll try to pass, but no, if you're not going to stop him, then might as well take the shot himself. Galloping down that left-hand side, Gebhardt, a pacey individual, and also an individual who knows how to put it into the back of the net. That's his 4th goal of the season for Forward Madison. He had some aggression to let out after the fact. His side getting the advantage, looking for 3 points on the road. Then a huge opportunity here. Jaden Onen looking to double the advantage, but Carlos Aviles, he is so good in those situations. He can make so many stops in one-on-one situations. He's got the athleticism, he's got the twitch reaction, and he's got the instinct. Aviles, always known for his great shot-stopping ability in moments like that. But then, 45th minute, the home side would find a response off this corner kick. Second service, Nico Cardona nods it home. Siobhan Marsh's first assist of the season makes it 1-1 going into the break. And then they'd get one more opportunity after that fact off another corner kick. He wouldn't make anything of it. Here's another angle of Siobhan Marsh swinging it in and Cardona heading it onward. And that would be where we would find ourselves going into the halftime break. 1-1 your scoreline. 9 shots for Forward Madison, 4 shots for Chattanooga. Your expected goals, 0.97 for the Mingos to 0.2 for Chattanooga. But of course, all the numbers only paint a picture. The scoreline tells you the full story. It's 1-1. And that's what these two teams care about. As Chattanooga look to find 3 points at home. Had more success here than on the road. Meanwhile, Madison, who've been on a road stretch recently, are looking to conclude positively after a crazy comeback draw against Central Valley Fuego last weekend on that cross-country trip. And we're going to get a quick corner kick brought to you by a local Ford dealer. Chattanooga have looked rather dangerous from these spots. 2 goals last weekend, a goal today. Service from Felipe comes in, headed away by Brotherton. Brought down by Marsh. Marsh still fighting for it. And that one blocked away by Kroll. There'll be a throw for the Red Wolves. Fans getting involved here at CHI Memorial Stadium. Last $2 bill night of the season. Starting to run out of home games left this season, which also means they're counting down the amount of matches they have left on this artificial synthetic turf, because they'll be switching it over to natural grass over the offseason to meet the requirements of the Super League, which of course they will be having a stake in, a team in. Scott McKenzie, of course, part of the structure of this Chattanooga Red Wolves team. You've got the Dalton Red Wolves, the Park City Red Wolves. You've got Chattanooga's W League team. Now they're going to be having a Super League team. And then, of course, you've got the League One side right here. You've got a whole ecosystem that Chattanooga have operating, looking to funnel talent up the pyramid for both the men and the women. And of course, can't talk about the Red Wolves and their infrastructure in League One without also mentioning their literal structure, CHI Memorial Stadium. First League One built stadium, made for the function of playing in USL League One, and that alone to start. Of course, now they'll be hosting it for the Super League as well and making the necessary changes to accommodate what's required. It's always exciting to see the beautiful game grow, especially for these franchises in League One. I love to see progress be made as Siobhan Marsh steps into the 18, splits defenders. Marsh across the center, it's pawed by Shipman. And that clearance not away, all the way out of danger, as Walefi now takes a shot. And it's kept in play, parried right into the hands of Shipman. Riley Kraft came sliding in. it's a positive start here in the second half for Chattanooga, looking to pick up right where they left off at the end of the first half. Leffy being given the license to shoot, not something he did all too often across his time at Chattanooga, but it's become a new trend recently, mainly because he's now being positioned outside the 18 and the ball falls to his lap. He has the green light to take a shot, and they're more than happy with him doing it. And that one deflecting hard there. I believe Omar Gomez, the one who took that one straight to the face. Here's a look at it again. Yeah, ouch. Clearance from Mikhail Williams right into the face of Omar Gomez. Talking about the infrastructure for this Red Wolves organization, a guy who has coming over from Park City. So a guy that Scott McKenzie is familiar with. All about that upward mobility. If talent from your lower league teams is being pushed into the main team and is finding success, and Omar Gomez has come in, and this is being his 10th appearance with Chattanooga and his 6th start, means you're doing something right. He looks to be all right, of course. That's a stinger. You're going to see red for a couple moments, and that is not a comfortable event. Especially when you're not anticipating it either. But Omar Gomez and his neon pink cleats looking like highlighters. Well, he'll allow to jog back onto the field, and he is once again returning to the action. And Silva getting fouled by Leffy there. And we mentioned this is the 4th head coach that Matt Glazer has played against in his brief tenure as Madison's head coach. And he's mentioned every one of those managers has done something a little bit different, but the one through line is they always get after it. Not a team that waits and lets the game come to them. Payne floats this one in for Onan, and he squared up on it. He'll want to have done better. He gasps, thanks for the service. He was wide open in the 18. As a striker, you want to put that one on frame. And that one was well off the mark on the Rodriguez Family Dentistry replay. A prime opportunity for forward Madison, not taken advantage of. Felipe with the back heel. Retrieved by Kroll. Brotherton drags it up to Gebhard. Gebhard dancing with the ball at his feet. Taps it back to Kroll, and he can provide the clearance. Cheney bearing down on Cardona. Service comes in for Hernandez. He was awfully close. That was a good ball going forward. Takes some good vision to recognize the run across the pitch. They're going to blow a whistle here on that challenge from Gomez. He's incensed. And Lomas being ushered away by the head official. Not a fan of the interference he was having. Shipman lays it over. Kroll is able to get by Hernandez. He plays it forward for Onan. Promising for Madison. Onan looking for Cheney. with the outside of his boot, but Mikhail Williams deflects away that opportunity. De Silva and Kroll bemoans his mistake there, just couldn't get that ball. Connerty on the end of that one, and he'll be called for the foul. Felipe able to get by De Silva. Johnny Felipe, good ball to Marsh. Marsh now working with it. Inside the 18, now dishes it out. Gomez crosses it, and Kraft trying the acrobatics. But the offside flag goes up, so Kraft's effort would not have counted even if he was able to put it on target. Looking to make it happen there with a moment of magic, but he was behind the defense there. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Osman clears that one away.
This replay is brought to you by Rodriguez Family Dentistry, the official dentistry of the Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Once again, it's been a promising start to this half for Chattanooga. That's going to be a handball for Cheney. Very clearly came off his arm there. Alefi gets this one going once again. Felipe glances that one off Connerty, and Kraft will quickly throw it back in. Quick touches from Madison, stolen away. Mario Slomis gets that one driven away after his touch got away from him. Ends up for the fans in the stands. Got to be ready at any moment. Very close to the pitch. Great seats here at CHI Memorial Stadium. Marsh looking to give the fans a reason to explode here. Cardona, service inside Lomas. It couldn't connect with Felipe. Mentioned it in the first half. Mario Slomis, such a potent goal scorer. He's proved it in League One back in his time with Greenville in 2021. Hasn't been able to find the goal yet for Chattanooga. But he's the kind of guy that on a given day can be quiet, and then at a moment's notice, suddenly he's on the score sheet. He's just got that striker's nose for goal that all it takes is one moment. Gebhardt looking for a pink jersey to get the ball to. De Silva keeps a hold of it. Own it to Gebhardt. His touch was a little heavy. Cheney chests it down. A player is down. They're going to call a foul on Pierre De Silva. It'll be a free kick for Chattanooga when things resume, but first they're going to check up on the Madison player who is slow to get up. Derek Gebhardt, the one on the turf, and a trainer being waved on by Alexander Zhelezkov. Gebhard getting back up on his feet, so he'll have a chance to recover. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Fans, check out the new 2023 Chattanooga Red Wolves kit along with t-shirts, scarves, novelty items, and much more at ChattanoogaRedWolves-SC.com. Gomez with a good touch. Gomez tried to play it across, but only finds Stephen Payne. And that one will be cleared up to Cheney. And then it's disarmed, knocked out for a Madison throw. Chattanooga fans, Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. As we get our first substitution of the evening, Eric Connerty out of the game and Andrew Wheeler-Amanu into the match. So the young midfielder in for a more veteran presence. And then for Chattanooga, Mo Espinoza makes his way into the match. And Riley Kraft comes out. Once again, it's that 98 for 99 substitution. Got to be a fun one for the fourth official to punch into that light board. Lombardi shrugging off Onan. Goes back to Mikhail Williams, who finds Cardona, the goal scorer for Chattanooga, and the second goal scorer of the evening. Cardona switches the action. Brought down by Espinoza. Now Espinoza with the service, and it bounces into the hands of Bernd Shipman. Goal in the 8th minute and a goal at the 45th minute for Chattanooga is how we got ourselves to one apiece. We go back to a free kick here. Chattanooga fans, Body Armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Slomis. Inside the 18. Taps it out for his teammate, and Espinoza goes down. And a foul's been called. It's going to be right outside the 18. It'll be a free kick for Chattanooga. Here's a look at it again. And the Rodriguez family dentistry replay. Stephen Payne, the guilty party. It's an interesting spot for a free kick. Does Fabio Hernandez have something drawn up from roughly this area for Chattanooga? It's Lombardi and Felipe by the ball. Can they find the lead here? It's been positive here to start the second half. Ball comes in, Mikhail Williams. It made a deflection, and Bernd Shipman is able to get it. Williams got a piece of it. I believe that deflected off of Pierre Da Silva. Popped it up into the air, making it pretty easy to grab for Shipman. Both Aviles and Shipman come into this game tied for 5th place with 59 saves. Both perfectly equal in that regard. As you can see there, Madison can find 3 points. They tie with the Hailstorm and the Independents. They would at the bottom of the three-way tie with goal differentials. That header goes off the crossbar. Headed away by Mitch Osmond. Mario Slomis painstakingly close to finding his first. Cardona with the service, and Lomas rising up for it. Just a hair from giving the lead to Chattanooga. As we get a corner kick brought to you by your local Ford dealer, Ford, the official domestic car partner of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Felipe crosses it in, headed away by Osmond. Gomez floats it in, falls to Williams. Williams shoots, and the defender scores. Chattanooga take the lead. They've been knocking on that door for the first 20 minutes of this half, and they have earned themselves the advantage. Falls to his feet, and he makes the most of it. That's what can be said here. He's all by himself, unmarked. And then using his left foot, he's able to put his laces through it and get it just by Burnt Shipman. It's his first goal of the season, Mikhail Williams. Coming over from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the offseason. And now Chattanooga currently sitting on 3 points. An appropriate reason to send off the smoke here at CHI Memorial Stadium. And now Chattanooga will once again push forward. Hernandez, good ball inside, was looking for a flying Lomas, and now Espinosa. That one looked like it pelted right into a fan. Good catch from one of our ball kids. Gotta bring that one back, little champ. Those soccer balls are a little bit too pricey to just be giving away after a missed shot. But you can get them at a discounted price right now in a Labor Day sale if you wanted a select ball for your own. Even considering it, now would be the time to check it out. And that was a crunching challenge. And tensions are boiling over here. Offense was taken to that contact. We'll wait to see what the damage is booking-wise. Alexander Zhelezkov, our head official, the one who has to clear things up. He's going to hear a lot of recommendations from the players on the pitch. He's trying to wave everybody away. He's got to make it clear who is getting what bookings. These players all want to walk right up to him. So a yellow card for Jaden Onen and a yellow card for Omar Gomez. It's Gomez's third and Jaden Onen's seventh. Yellow card for Jaden Onen, brought to you by Tennessee Highway Safety Office. And we'll wait to get things going again here. game brought to you by Outlaw Beer, Mile High Light Beer. Find your wilderness.
These yellow cards are presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where designating a sober driver is the winning play.
2 more subs getting ready to go for Matt Glazer's side. Looks like we're getting the details now from our 4th official. It'll end up being a free kick for Chattanooga. Get these substitutions now. Mauro Sicero will come in for Nazim Bartman, and Aiden Macias will come in for Pierre Da Silva.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a pair of substitutions for Madison in the 70th minute of the game. Entering the game, number 23, Aiden Macias.
So 3 of the 6 players on Matt Glazer's bench getting subbed into the game now.
Pierre Da Silva.
2 of them getting subbed in now. Andrew Wheeler-Amonu getting subbed in earlier in the game. Also worth noting, Omar Gomez attributed with the assist on that last goal, his 2nd of the season. Lomas heads it up, and Shipman able to get the grab, and Marsh goes down on some contact, and he may get a warning here. Trying to say to don't try to simulate some contact here or make something seem worse than it is. Kroll. That's the freshly subbed in Aiden Macias. Kroll is able to get that one up the pitch. Madison will be looking to find a response goal. Started the game in the lead and have since conceded twice to 2 of Chattanooga's defensive players, Mikhail Williams and Nico Cardona, 2 of the 3 center backs in their lineup today. Navilez coming well outside of his penalty area. Espinoza with a good touch. Mo Espinoza takes a shot himself. It's off the post. Oh, it was almost fantastic from Mo Espinoza. Still fishing for his first goal of the season. This shot deflected and into the hands of Shipman. Mo Espinoza was an electrifying player last year. Has yet to find the back of the net this season, just 3 assists. You see here on the Rodriguez Family Dentistry replay, taking it from the corner, and oh, nearly had it. Here's Hernandez, working on Gebhard. He's got Gomez to give it back to. Finds Marsh. Now Omar Gomez. Skipping along, and Marsh will get it back once again. Lomas plays it to Felipe. Felipe running forward, gets taken down. Gomez picks it up. Omar Gomez plays it to his left. Felipe still with it, tries the shot, deflected away. Here's Walefi. $2,287 fans in attendance for the game today. Good haul here on Labor Day weekend for the Chattanooga fans. A lot of those fans donning kits including the new 2023 Chattanooga Red Wolves kit. Slomis tried to find Marsh. Gomez over to Marsh once again. Siobhan Marsh steps inside, was looking for the lane to shoot. Gomez gives it right back to him. That one pings out of possession, but Cardona is there to dish it out wide. Marsh, another moment. Plays it centrally. Felipe took a grab there. No call from the ref. Espinoza drills it inside. Falls back up. The service again to Lomas. Here's Marsh. He shoots. Couldn't get it past Gebhard. It has been all Chattanooga here in the second half. And you wonder if the wear and tear from the travel for Madison is really starting to rear its ugly head right now. They are just hanging on. Hernandez throws it into Gomez. He's in the corner. Able to get that cross off, but Shipman gets to it. You can get the Red Wolves kit along with t-shirts, scarves, novelty items, and much more at ChattanoogaRedWolvesSC.com. Gebhard with some room to work with. Scored the goal in the 8th minute. Good step on him there. And that one tapped ahead of Cheney, who didn't make the run. And Aviles will kill some time. 15 minutes plus whatever stoppage time we get. Carlos Aviles looking to keep the scoreline where it is as it stands right now, at least on the Madison side. Of course, Chattanooga wouldn't mind tacking in another goal. They've been looking for it. Gomez gets it right back. Now Cardona. Cardona brings it forward. Finds Gomez. He was looking to connect with Felipe. Cardona being called almost screening there effectively. So it'll be a free kick for Madison. Chattanooga fans, Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Macias. Two more substitutions getting themselves ready for Matt Glazer's side. Onan loses possession. Lombardi making his way forward. That's a good pass to Marsh. Siobhan Marsh in the 18, plays it across the center! And there's that goal for Mario Slomis. Put on a plate by Siobhan Marsh. It's 3-1 Chattanooga. His first as a Red Wolf, Mario Slomis won't find a goal much easier than that one. It's a great pass from Lombardi to find Marsh, and then Marsh squares it across so cleanly to the big man up top. And the Red Wolves in a great spot now as we take a look at this goal once again on the Rodriguez Family Dentistry replay. The mouth of the goal, oh so wide in front of Mario Slomis. And Siobhan Marsh, coming into this game with no assists on the season, has tacked 2 of them in this 90 minutes. Had 14 goals and an assist in 2021 with the Greenville Triumph, and he opens his account in 2023 with the Red Wolves. From the Netherlands, Mario Slomis. Sometimes all it takes is one. So 2 substitutions for Madison after that goal. Derek Gebhard out for Robert Screen. Also, Francis Janot-Baptiste has subbed into the game. Slomis bringing it forward. Jaden Onen coming out for Geno Batiste. Marsh steps inside. Siobhan Marsh wants one for himself. It's saved by Shipman. And when I say it has been all Chattanooga here in this second half, it really has been. But now Onen, excuse me, that's Geno Batiste, the substitution for Onen, trying to make the run the other way. But Lombardi dismantles that attack easily. Mo Espinoza hits the brakes. Have a little give and go here, which gives us the chance to tell you that body armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Well, it's players like Siobhan Marsh. Another difference between USL League One and USL League Two. I talked to Scott McKenzie and I asked him just what's the gap between the two? And he said, well, that pro versus amateur gap is significant. There are very good amateur players out there, but they just aren't over that pro threshold for a reason. And many of them will get there, but they're not there yet. And the short American schedules for college players, high school players, where they only play for a couple months at hand and then get breaks, isn't conducive to some of these young players fulfilling their potential. Nothing that's their fault, just the way it's structured here in the country. So to put it simply, it's just a higher caliber player you're working with in USL League One. Full-on pros as another pro, Alex Tejera, prepares to sub into the game. And an applause being given to Mario Slomis. He gets the lead with his first goal of the season for Chattanooga. He's been putting in the work both offensively and doing some of the dirty work for Scott McKenzie when he's gotten the chance, and now he's been rewarded with his first of the season. And they'll be hoping for more to come here in 2023. Fernandez still pushing for it. And that one cleared out. It'll be another Chattanooga throw. Chattanooga fans, Ford is the official domestic car partner of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Just been tough sledding for Madison recently as far as their defense is concerned. Just leaking in a lot of goals as of late after being so stingy early on in the season. In the last 3 games, they've conceded 4 goals, and 3 goals in this one. After being so stubborn in that regard early on in the season. They are dealing short-handed right now. They're without one of their starters on that back line, Timmy Mel. But Matt Glazer would tell you that they don't want to resort to excuses. And through some of these games, the front 3 has carried the load and helped them fight on. But as you can see, he's not pleased with how this one has transpired. Wants to see the combination of that offensive success paired with the early season defensive success. Perhaps this 3-game homestretch coming up will help remedy that, as Brotherton in a bit of a bind there. Chattanooga on the prowl again. Gomez shoots and he skies that one. Well, he split the uprights of the goal. Playing the wrong kind of football this Saturday. A lot of games of that sport taking place right now. And that's the second ball that's sailed over and out. It'll be a little bit harder to fetch this time without any daylight. Hernandez into the 18. Was looking for Marsh. He couldn't get to it. Payne clears it up the pitch. Jeannot Baptiste shrugs off contact, and he sends Robert Screen running. Can Screen get there? No, Cardona's got the pace to catch up, and then Screen will be called for the shove. This Chattanooga team wants to finish this season strong. Scott McKenzie said that we as a collective want to finish in a way that sets us up to have momentum going into the offseason. And he cited a perfect example. North Carolina FC last season overall did not have a successful year, but they ended the season with a couple wins, looking pretty good. And now look at them, sitting top of the table. Have a game against second place Omaha, and even if they lose, they'll still be in first place. McKenzie saying that North Carolina FC sitting where we believe we as a program belong, which is competing for titles year in and year out. I mean, they were in the title game just last season. So if they can get on a positive stretch here at the end of the season, could bode well for the 2024 campaign. Not eliminated yet, but it's certainly further than a stone's throw of a chance to make the playoffs. They'd have to have a lot of things go their way, and they'd have to get on one heck of a run. But positives could still be garnered from the rest of the season, even if the postseason is not achieved. Meanwhile, for Madison, currently 2 points clear, 2 games in hand in the playoff race. Matt Glazer said there's a lot of games left and still a lot of work to be done in that regard. So you could be thinking, given the situation you're in, you could start thinking about, all right, let's try to get a better seed. But their first objective is just to stay above the line. Matt Glazer saying that we're not going to start looking up until we feel more comfortable that we have accomplished and solidified the fact that we'll be in the playoffs. I think right now this Madison team is just trying to weather the storm. A lot of knocks, exhaustion from what has been a grueling summer for them. Got one Knoxville nipping at their heels. They'll have a game in hand on one Knoxville after this game concludes, and that's their next opponent. So that could end up being a huge game as that ball comes in with the whistle blows. It's a road trip to Charlotte for Chattanooga, but a home match against Knoxville next weekend could prove massive for Forward Madison and Knoxville and the League One playoff race as a whole. And just to give you an idea of how lopsided this half has been, 35 minutes since the last time Forward Madison has taken a shot in this game. Not even a shot on target, just a shot in general. It has been all Chattanooga here for the second 45 minutes. And the scoreline, oh, it reflects that. The shot disparity was in favor of Madison coming into the half, but now it's 17-10 in favor of Chattanooga, including 8 shots on target for the Red Wolves to Madison's 2. Rowan Lombardi, slow to get up.
This is your reminder to head over to the Howl Bar after the final whistle to raise a glass to the Timbercraft Whiskey Man of the Match and hear some more music from Overlook.
CS gets it to Payne. Mauro Sacchero, one of the substitutes, dishes it over to Kroll. Jake Kroll sends this ball in. Molefi boots this one up. Kroll will fight for this one. Screen with the ball swinging inside. It's clutched by Aviles. Moment of positivity here for Madison. You think if you can get a goal here, then maybe you have a moment or a chance to squeak in an equalizer. Learned my lesson last week. Can never count out these bingos, even in a bad spot in a 2-goal deficit, coming back from 2 goals down and a man down on the road. Of course, time is ticking away for them in this one. Not wearing a Red Wolves shirt there, but it's the right color. He does have a Wisconsin shirt on, so he actually may be a Madison fan. I'm not sure. Would be unwise, though, to wear red to an away game at the Chattanooga Red Wolves Stadium, but, I mean, perhaps maybe he's trying to operate under a covert mission. Well, Leffy over to Pedro Hernandez. Siobhan Marsh gives it to Leffy. And friendly fire there as Marsh gets the ball. It gets returned back to him. Game's getting clunky here as Felipe continues to fight for it. Play goes on. Then Felipe goes down. Foul called on Andrew Wheeler on Manu. And we're going to get 5 minutes of stoppage time. Stoppage time brought to you by Twin Peaks. Stop at your local Twin Peaks today. Here's a look at what transpired here. Just a lot of bodies running into each other, and that's even after Siobhan Marsh ran into his own teammate, Pedro Hernandez. They play it quickly. Hernandez takes it over to the sideline. Now Cardona. All the way back to Aviles. Kroll ends it up. And Shipman. Well, that was interesting. Not sure what the call is going to be. I believe they're going to say it's a corner kick. Either a corner kick or a free kick right outside the 18. Here's the corner is going to be what's called. Definitely haven't seen something like that before. Bernd Shipman tapping the ball into the 18. The call appears to be that the ball went out of play, and some frustration there from Bernd Shipman on this. Now as we got this corner kick brought to you by our local Ford dealer. So, another clunky moment there as Tejera gets himself back up. Felipe camping out, throws his shoulder into that one. Ball still in play. Tejera getting tugged. And, oh no. Cooler head's got to prevail here. As this one has gotten nasty. Aviles has come all the way over from the other end of the pitch. This is not how you want to see this game end. Surely a frustrating evening for Madison, and it's gotten a bit too physical here in this final stretch of the game. And this is another step of de-evolution. Our head official, Alexander Zaleskov, has some work to do. I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen Payne gets himself into some trouble here after that push after the fact. That's if the refs were able to catch what happened. Now, some consulting is taking place between one of our ARs and our head official, Alexander Zaleskov. We got Sarah Gaddis and Sharon Gingrich, our two assistant referees today. Kyle Johnston, the fourth official. So here it is again. Yeah, I mean, Payne. I don't know what the objective of that was. Trying to get Tahara out of the way of the ball, but I mean, you can't do that. They'll only get a yellow card. And Tahara will get one too, which is, I mean, I was wondering what color the card was going to be for Payne. It'll be his 7th of the season. He'll be counting his blessings. It's not a red here right at the end of this one, because then he'd have to sit through a suspension against Knoxville next week. That yellow card brought to you by Tennessee Highway Safety Office. So we've gone through the 5 minutes of stoppage time, but a lot of that's just been this situation. Stoppage time, once again, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Stop by your local Twin Peaks today, as Andrew Paoli will sub into the game for Omar Gomez. We've got an assist today, and as I was mentioning earlier, an example of the upward trajectory of the Chattanooga infrastructure. As we look to see this one through. Kroll sends this one up the pitch. Cheney taps it for Janot Batiste. It pops through, it's collected by Aviles. And again, every single interaction right now is just a tinge more violent than it was earlier in this game. Bodies are just thudding into each other with a bit more force each moment of contact. Aviles will pick up the ball after Cheney approaches him, and he'll blast it down the pitch. Really don't have an idea of how much time we've got left in this game. We'll just wait for Zaleskov to blow the final whistle, and he'll do it right here, right now. A huge road win for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. A dominant second 45 minutes of action finds them with 3 points at home. Second win under the leadership of Scott McKenzie. Well-earned 3 points, a 3-1 victory for Chattanooga over Forward Madison. As this one comes to a close. And there's Siobhan Marsh, who is our man of the match, presented by Timber Craft Whiskey. Getting congratulations from his teammates. Didn't have any assists coming into the game. Has got 2 in this one. Let's take a look at that assist from that last goal, the one that he was able to award Mario Slomis. It's a great ball from Aaron Lombardi. And when Marsh slips behind, Marsh does damage. You see here, once again, on that run, he picks up the pace. And then he just squares it across so cleanly to Marius Lomas. Easy, easy goal for the number 9. So congratulations to Siobhan Marsh in that regard. Once again, our Timbercraft Whiskey man of the match. Getting the job done, especially in the second half. Also got their first goal in the first half. And with that in mind, let's talk about our save of the game, brought to you by Chattanooga Hotel. It's this moment right here, which in hindsight was huge. You could almost argue was the turning point in this game. It was 1-0 Madison at this point in time. Aviles makes the save, and then Chattanooga started sprinkling some attacks after that. Eventually got the goal before going into the break, and then the second half happened, and the Red Wolves were all gas in the second half. So a lot of kudos could be thrown to Carlos Aviles in that regard. We've got some more awards to give out on the other side. We've got some post-game thoughts coming for you after this break on ESPN+.
The future is in these foothills. The world's fastest internet from EPB is in homes from Hickson to Highland Park. In classrooms from East Lake to East Brainerd. And in reach of those striving to learn more, be more, achieve more. The future is here with fiber optic speeds up to 25 gigs, only from EPB.
I need to try it first.
And we're back here for the post-game show presented by SmartBank. Experience SmartBank. And Chattanooga experienced 3 goals here today, and they will celebrate at the Hal Bar just like they had a good time before the game at the Hal Bar. So great festivities all around, pre, during, and post-game here at CHI Memorial Stadium as we get you the highlights brought to you by CHI Memorial. Early in the game, it looked like Madison was going to find something here on the road. Derek Gebhardt, all by himself, rolls down the left side of that pitch and is able to log that one home, getting his 4th goal of the season. But 45th minute, after a big save from Aviles, Siobhan Marsh would find his first assist of the season, connecting with Nico Cardona, one of 2 members of that back line who would find a goal this evening. They'd go into the break feeling pretty good. And then coming out of the break, they would play really good. It was all Chattanooga in the second half. And a boost of confidence from both the Aviles save and that goal scored right there. 65th minute. Mikhail Williams would get his first goal of the season as this one floats by several players. Falls to Williams, and the captain, with the armband at his wrist, is able to slide it into the back of the net and give the Red Wolves a well-earned lead at that point in the game. But they would not slow down. They would keep going at it. And then the 78th minute, Siobhan Marsh would be sprung free by a pass from Arone Lombardi. And then Marsh squares it across, and Mario Slomis scores his first goal as a Chattanooga Red Wolf. Sometimes all it takes is one goal to get a striker going, and Mario Slomis is the kind of guy who could generate goals at any given moment. So they'll be happy with the way they are able to get him going in this one. Here are the full-time stats brought to you by SmartBank. 1.67 on the expected goals for Chattanooga to Madison's 1.06. The Mangos have the longest scoring streak this season going for them with 10 straight games, but they will not find a victory here. 4 games winless for them, which sees them sitting in the last spot in the playoffs as of right now, just 2 points ahead of 1 Knoxville with 1 game in hand, but a oh-so-pivotal game against 1 Knoxville next weekend at home at Breese Stevens Field. That's going to be must-watch for Madison fans, and I'd recommend fans across the league to watch that game. That could be the game of the weekend, but we also are not done with this weekend's action. Northern Colorado and Charlotte Independence, 2 teams firmly in playoff spots right now, jockeying for positioning, seeding-wise. Could end up being a lot of fun. These are 2 quality offenses going at it. Of course, we've got Trevor Ammon pushing to break the League One record, regular season record for goals scored in a season. And the Charlotte Independents have about 20 million players who can all score goals from anywhere on the pitch, from veteran presence like Dane Kelly to the slippery, demonic work of Tracer Mbuyu when he has the ball at his feet. It's just nasty when he gets that ball by him. So he'll be going up against the likes of Lalo Delgado and that Hailstorm defense. So much talent oozing on both these rosters. It's going to be worth watching. A Sunday fixture all by itself, much like this game was. And for those of you who spent some of your Saturday tuning in to watch this one, we appreciate you watching. Chattanooga, all 3 points after 3 goals at home. For our entire broadcasting crew, I'm Mark Schoenster. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast. We wish you a very good night, a so long, and we'll see you next time on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.